So today we're working on this white BMW. It's actually my wife's car, and I'm just gonna show you what I've done to it just to make something a little bit special out of it. It's a pretty nice car, it has everything, so I didn't have to do much to it, but I'll show you what I did with the exhaust, make it sound a little bit nicer, and what I did with the airbox and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna start with the exhaust, get it on the lift, and then I'll show you what I did. So here's what I did with the exhaust. There's some kind of valve over here that blocks off this one of the outlets, so it sends all the exhaust into this resonator and then comes out the one. And apparently when that is open, like at full throttle, when you're going down the highway or in sport mode, it makes it louder. So I figured what if I just get it open? So I'm gonna take this off and show you what I want to do. Let's set this camera down. So this is what it is. So a little spring, those are the bolts or the nuts, and the spring goes in there, and this little motor controls, so it's plugged in. I was just gonna remove this and see, but I think it throws a check engine light, and you can see it. It's like some kind of valve. You can hear it. So it opens and closes the exhaust port. So that's open, I think. That's closed. So it controls it when it opens it. So apparently if it's open, it sounds nicer. So I'm gonna leave this off. I'm gonna close it and lower the car and see how it sounds, if it makes any difference. So I'm gonna set the camera back here, lower the car, see what we can do. Now let's see if we can open the valve, see if it sounds any different. I don't know how well the camera will pick it up, but in the car it sounds different. It sounds deeper, and it like a little rumble. So we'll see. I'm gonna pick up the car and see if I can eliminate this little spring deal. So even if the motor moves, it won't regulate the flap. So, I don't know what this is, some kind of shield or something, but I'll put that on there. Then if I don't put the little, it's kind of hard to see, but if I don't put the little spring in there, it doesn't even touch it. So the motor will move, it'll think it's doing whatever it needs to do, but it'll actually be open. So let's see, that's open, close, open. but I don't want it to flop around, so I'm gonna try to put a little screw in there to keep it closed, or to keep it open. Let's see. So a little screw. So I put the little screw in there. The self-tapper just went through it, and then it kind of, let me see if I can get a little light. See how it holds it in there, and you can't move it anymore. So always be open. I don't want exhaust gas to like close the flap. And then see, there is no spring, so it's not touching it. So the motor will do its thing. It won't throw any check engine lights, but it'll keep this exhaust open and make it sound a little bit nicer. So nothing, you don't have to buy anything, but there's the, you know, the cat, and then the straight pipe, and then that big resonator. Maybe someday I'll put a straight pipe in here somewhere, get rid of this thing, but for now we'll just have to deal with this little thing, see if it makes a difference, see how good it sounds. So just changed the oil on it, so brand new oil in here. And I was gonna check the air filter. I put a K&N air filter in there, and it's time for it to be cleaned. But I was looking, and I was thinking of maybe putting a cold air intake on this thing, you know, make the turbo sound, or you can hear it, you know, with that little exhaust mod I did. Do something, you know, something on the cheap, even though it's, you know, $50,000 car. It's nice to do something that performs well and is affordable. So I already unscrewed all this, but I'll show you what I did. So this unscrews, and it's just a cover. It holds the air filter in there. Then there's my K&N air filter, nice and dirty. So here's the inlet. You know, it goes in through here, travels up here into this box, and through that and to this right there. So I'm gonna do something and make a cold air intake. So I went ahead and just went to AutoZone, picked up this little guy, then this guy, this a little coupler, and a big filter. So I already put it together, see how it will work, but there it is. So that's the air filter, that's the 90, that's the coupler, and this is the straight, and I put this little piece that's nice and tight in there, because that air box is kind of weird in there. But so it just goes on there. So in theory it's just gonna go like that, and I'm gonna still keep the bottom of this tray as like a little heat shield, and plus all this air is gonna come in through there, and see if it makes the turbo sound a little nicer, maybe give me a 1 or 2 horsepower extra. But I'll set it up and put that on there, see how it works. There it is, and it just clamps on there. That's the straight, that's the coupler, that's the 90, and this big filter, so it sucks the air in, and it's pretty cheap alternative. I think the filter is like the regular one from BMW, I think is like 40 bucks, the air filter. That Canon air filter was 65 or 67. I bought it and it worked, but all of this was 80 bucks. The filter, this big guy, is I think 35, and then the rest are, I mean, it's pretty simple. It took me, I don't know, 15 minutes to do. And now I have and then the ones I checked, you know, where they come in with like a filter here and some other deal, they're like $200, $300. So this is a pretty cheap alternative to a cold air intake. And it's already fully warm because I was just driving, so I'm gonna start it up. Well, you can definitely hear the turbo spool. It's a lot better, but I'll see what I can do. That's it. You can definitely hear it better. I drove it around a little bit, and you can hear when you're on it, and you can actually hear the turbo now instead of, you know, just nothing. Now the exhaust is a little bit better. Sounds, I mean, a little bit better. And then the air intake, so hopefully my wife likes it. See how she likes this little bit of deeper sounding exhaust and air filter on there. But yeah, mods on the cheap, I guess. That should do it. Little project I had, and I figured change the oil and get those little things done, because I always wanted to. I have this 335, and you just pull a little hose off so the flap doesn't close, and it makes it sound a lot nicer. I did it to mine, and I'm like, well, maybe that's a N54 engine in there, and this one's the twin scroll engine in there, so I figured it'll give it a try. But yeah, this one sounds a little bit nicer. Let me start it up for you and see if you can hear. Alright, that'll do it for this video. Little DIY for you. Let me know if you have any better cheap mods have you ever done, or anything. Always open to suggestions, and see if I did anything better or worse. But one way to find out is start doing it. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching, and you guys have a great day.